What's up everyone, welcome back to RideRev, the spot where legends of the road meet the passion of today's drivers. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss a single upload, and join this ride because today, we're diving into one of the most iconic muscle cars ever built, the 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. And not just any mention, I'm talking about the heart, the attitude, and the Firebird that burned itself into automotive history, the one that still gets collectors, gearheads, and casual fans buzzing in 2026. Now picture this, it's the late 70s, disco is everywhere, bell bottoms are still hanging on, but what really has people turning their heads is the way Pontiac captured raw American horsepower with style. The 79 Trans Am rolled in as a perfect storm, bold styling, unforgettable decals, and a presence that shouted louder than almost anything else on the street. If you've ever seen that screaming Firebird decal stretching across the hood, you know exactly what I mean. This wasn't just a car, this was a statement, a cultural symbol, and it still carries that same weight nearly 5 decades later. One of the biggest highlights of the 1979 model year was the variety of engines Pontiac offered. This was the final year you could order a Trans Am with the legendary 400 cubic inch Pontiac V8 paired with a 4-speed manual. Think about that, raw torque, straight from the factory, pushing around 220 horses, but what really mattered was the feel. That engine growled, it didn't just purr. For those who wanted a bit more smoothness, the 403 cubic inch Oldsmobile V8 was available with an automatic, giving you around 185 horses. By today's standards, those numbers don't sound mind-blowing, but in 1979, the combination of displacement, sound, and attitude was all about the experience. This was a car you felt in your chest every time you tapped the throttle. The styling, untouchable, the sharp lines, the shaker hood, the quad square headlights that screamed aggression, and of course the iconic, screaming chicken, decal that practically took flight as you drove by. You could option it out with colors that popped, Mayfair Maize, Heritage Brown, or the always classic Starlight Black. And don't even get me started on the T-tops. Nothing said freedom like popping those glass panels off and letting the wind blast through your hair while the engine thundered down the highway. If you had one of these in 1979, you weren't just driving, you were living the dream. Now, by 2026, the Pontiac Trans Am is long gone from the production line, but the legend has only grown. Collectors are hunting down pristine examples, and the values have been climbing like crazy. A well-preserved or fully restored 1979 Trans Am can pull in serious money, sometimes well into 6 figures depending on options, originality, and condition. Special editions like the 10th Anniversary Silver Edition, with that two-tone silver and charcoal paint and embroidered seats, are among the most sought after. These weren't just cars, they were rolling pieces of art, a bridge between the muscle car era and the changing landscape of the 80s. Of course, we can't talk about the 79 Trans Am without mentioning its pop culture spotlight. Thanks to movies like Smokey and the Bandit 2, this car became more than metal and rubber. It was the poster child for rebellious fun, freedom of the open road, and sticking it to the man. Kids had posters of this car on their walls, adults fantasized about tearing down the highway in one, and even today, if you roll up in a black and gold Trans Am, people instantly know the vibe you're giving off. Driving a 79 Trans Am today is something different. Modern cars are smoother, faster, more refined, but they can't match the soul. Slide into those bucket seats, grip the formula steering wheel, and you're connected to a raw experience that modern tech can't replicate. It's about sound, smell, and sensation. The rumble of the V8, the slight shake at idle, the heavy but rewarding feel of the clutch, these are things you can't download or replicate in an electric future. And that's why people are paying premium money to keep these beasts alive. So, in 2026, the Pontiac Trans Am 1979 isn't just an old car. It's a time capsule, a collectible, a machine that reminds us of what it felt like when driving was about attitude as much as horsepower. It's the kind of ride that makes you turn around and look at it one more time after you park. It's one of the reasons RideRev exists, to celebrate machines that stir your soul. Thanks for watching, my friends. If you love this deep dive into the 1979 Trans Am, don't forget to like the video, share it with your car-loving crew, and drop a comment about your favorite memory of this legend. And of course, subscribe to RideRev, because we're just getting started, and the road ahead is packed with stories you won't want to miss.